Welcome to the Prepared Enough podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Mila, former teacher, mom of four, and firm believer that well-prepared physical spaces can do a lot of heavy lifting in motherhood. In this podcast, you'll hear ideas for organizing spaces paired with rhythms and habits that build your child's responsibility and bring more ease into your day. Follow along and let's make big impacts with simple adjustments. Hello. Welcome to episode number 30 of the Prepared Enough podcast. We are here today to talk a couple habits that we are teaching our kids this summer before the school year starts. Now, they're habits that we work on kind of all the time, but they are some of the bigger ones that impact our morning readiness and just general little chores of life. So they're just kind of three big ones in our house that we are constantly making adjustments for, and that they kind of take a little bit longer. And so we're using this summertime to practice them a little bit more so that when the school year comes, we can do them quicker. Now, we're always working on independence in one way or another, but sometimes it's a bit stagnant, I suppose. And I'm always thinking about the next thing that we're going to be working on and how we're going to be getting our kids to be a little bit more independent in different areas. The school year, though, can get so crazy and busy that I find that I'm often running out of that extra time, and any quote unquote extra time that we do get as a family, I tend to lean into wanting to let my kids just have some free play time together because they get significantly less time together during the school year. So I often pick up the slack around the house, and I just kind of let them off the hook for a lot of independence when it comes to especially tougher skills, for their ages. And I don't want to make them do something that's super time consuming during the school year. Especially when you only have an hour at home, I really put the priority on sibling playtime. And so because of that, though, I know I kind of need to pick up the slack in the summer. And so we are using these summer months this year, and we did this last year too with a couple other things, but we're going to do it again this year to teach the learning of new independent habits and skills that of those things that take a little bit longer. So we are making small, slight tweaks every day. I just want to remind you that we're doing it every day in independence, the independence realm. Things like getting dressed, brushing teeth, doing hair, cleaning up toys, things like that don't add a lot of extra time. We're always making little tweaks here and there. But I'm talking about the things that take a lot longer to teach and a lot longer to learn, like folding laundry, things like that. These just are a lot better suited for when you have a little bit extra time at home, so you don't feel like you're stealing the time away from any sibling time or family time. So for us, this summer, we are focusing on independence in three big areas. The first one is our morning room reset, which actually really isn't that big of a deal, but we're making a lot of adjustments here. And so I'm using the summer to make those adjustments. So it's just second nature once the school year starts. Because I'm changing, I'm not really changing. I'm just tweaking more than one small thing, I should say. And then especially, and for our littlest guy especially. Not our youngest. He's one. He's not really resetting his room in the morning, but our almost 4-year-old is going to be making probably the biggest amount of leaps here. And we're also, number two, we're kind of focusing on the laundry. And now this is the biggest one. We are especially focusing on putting our clean clothes away, but we are also going to be working on folding our own laundry. And this is going to look different for all of my kids. And I haven't exactly started with my third born he's a boy and he's going to be almost 4. And so we haven't really started with folding laundry at all with him. He has folded some washcloths and stuff, but that doesn't really count because that's not part of his specific laundry. So we're going to see what we can do there. But I'll get a little bit more into what my thoughts are around these things, but I'm doing this episode as more of like a precursor. And so I'm not talking from experience. I'm talking about what we're about to do for the rest of the summer. And then the third thing we're going to be working on is the dishes. So we have always participated independently here in some way, shape, or form, but we are making lots of strides in this area because I am sick of doing all of the work. I'm not really sick of doing it. I shouldn't say that, but I just recognize that my kids are their attitudes are getting a little bit entitled, I think, in some ways around our house. They just kind of toss things places, and it seems like they've gotten a lot lazy, and that's my fault in a lot of ways because I've given them a lot of slack in some areas. So we're going to make some changes, especially with regular meal times. So those are the 3 kind of big areas: our morning, room reset, laundry, and dishes. So I'm going to go into each one of those and talk about what my thoughts are with each of my kids depending on their age, and then how we're going to go about that for the rest of this summer and what that's kind of going to look like as we continue on into the school year. So we are going to get started with our morning room reset. And so I have a almost 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, a almost 4-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. And so most of this episode, I'm just going to be talking about the older 3 and not really the 1.5-year-old, because the 1.5-year-old can kind of tag along with me and help here and there, but they're not really doing a ton of totally independent things at that age. So I'm just going to kind of count him out for this episode. But we are going to talk about the older 3 for sure. Now, this is actually a paid episode for paid members here for our month of June. So if you are interested in hearing the rest of this episode and learning more about our morning room reset, laundry, and dishes, please go over to my Substack and I will link to that in the show notes. And if you're interested in becoming a paid member, we do monthly podcasts for paid members that are additional in terms of our normal podcasts. And so this is one of the additional podcasts that comes out each month that is for our members. And so if this podcast interests you, and you can go see all the other paid podcasts on there. If any of those interest you, you can go and become a member over on our Substack and get access to all of those podcasts right away. And even if you just signed up for a month, you could still have access to all of them and just like binge listen to them for the month and then cancel your subscription. So I totally respect that, and I would do that too. So you don't feel any shame in doing that. But if you want to sign up for the whole year and keep getting the podcast each month, you can, and it is a lot cheaper to sign up for the whole year all at once. It's quite affordable. So go over to the Substack and sign up if you are interested in the rest of this episode.